How does the conventions here in Germany compare to, say, the ones in UK and the States?
Well, everyone's speaking German. That's the main difference. I don't know, I find that Doctor Who fans the world over there's a similarity in their love for the programme, obviously. And I think there's some kind of, there's a sense of humour around Doctor Who that I've noticed, and it's strange. I think Germans have a similar sense of humour to the British. I don't know if you've found that living here for a long time, and I love that. Because Doctor Who, as well as obviously having its serious side, and has always had that kind of quirky humour about it, and I love that.
Wonderful. Well, you get the normal questions that you're always asked, so we'll start off with one. How was working with Sylvester McCoy?
Working with Sylvester was amazing. He taught me so much, because of course it was my first TV that I'd ever done. And so I watched everyone like a hawk to learn from them. And Sylvester was great because he really taught me to question what was going on. So if my character, if Ace was meant to be saying something that I didn't quite, I would say, I don't think that's quite right. Or, but also, of course, he's such fun. He's really, really great fun. And he's curious about everything as well. So I learned such a lot from him.
Wonderful. And yourself, what was your favourite episode in the series?
My favourite was, it's very difficult to choose because I love them all, but I think my favourite was probably The Curse of Fenric, because you got such a lot of Ace's background there. It was set in the Second World War, and I love historical stories. I got to wear a period costume from a sort of a suit from and a snood on my hair, so that was a bit different to be wearing a costume like that. And also Ace had some fantastic stunts to do, and I used to love doing my stunts. But also the story was so good. It combined Second World War, Viking mythology and vampires, and also the kind of a bit of the backstory as well about the Doctor becoming a bit more of a different character than you'd seen before. There's a brilliant bit where he suddenly becomes quite manipulative, and Ace is absolutely heartbroken. So it required a lot of acting from me, a lot of sort of emotional acting, which I love to do too.
At the moment, who's your favourite Doctor? Besides obviously Sylvester.
Yeah, well, it's very hard. I have this conviction that you always have a fondness for the Doctor that you grew up with. That for me would be Jon Pertwee. But then I love them all. I think the thing is, it's very difficult to choose who your favourite Doctor is, because they've all been played by the most amazing men who bring themselves to the role. So each of these men is quite special in their own way. Eccentric, very strong personalities usually, and with real convictions about who they're playing and why they're doing it. The Doctor himself he's a pacifist. He's ultimately, he's a superhero basically. He's a superhero who uses his brain rather than any kind of superpower. And I do find that all the guys who I've met so far who've played the Doctors, they're very bright guys as well. They're very knowledgeable and creative, and so yeah, in a long-winded way, I'd like to just say I think my favourite Doctor is the Doctor.
Wonderful. Oh, yourself, you're doing your own things, Strangeness in Space. How's all that going?
Well, Strangeness in Space, I'd love you to check this out if you haven't already. Strangeness in Space is a podcast that I've done with a couple of friends of mine from university called Trev and Simon, who are comedians who are kind of cult figures around the same time that I was doing Doctor Who in the 80s and 90s. And they appeared on Saturday morning TV programmes in Britain. and people just loved what they did. They played these stupid characters, they did crazy sketches with celebrities, and they're amazing, these guys. So we're doing this podcast together. It's free to download on our website, which is www.strangenessinspace.com, or on iTunes, and we've made 4 episodes so far. Basically, the story is that I play a character called Sophie, funnily enough, who is the manager of a gift shop in a space centre, a bit like a sort of NASA space centre. And for various reasons, I get blasted off into space with Trev and Simon, and we end up orbiting a planet called Mirth, which is a bit like Earth, but with an M instead of an E. And we have these crazy adventures, and they sing a very bad song every episode, and we have such fun. So we've done 4 episodes so far, and it's been great fun. We've had lots of guest stars come in and do parts for us, and it's all a bit of crazy, bonkers humour in space. So, and it's free. What's not to love?
Thank you very much, Sophie. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your weekend.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.